Amazon seems to really enjoy torturing us. They seem to enjoy taking our favourite shows and making us wait for them. We've waited for Stargate, and we've been waiting for The Expanse. Alcon want to take The Expanse elsewhere, but Amazon might have second thoughts. This is a bit of a shocker. Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. There's been a little bit of a drama ever since season 6 of The Expanse ended. People were very excited about the possibility of more of the series. Naren Shankar, the showrunner, actually said that this show wasn't dead. It was just on a hiatus. They were just taking a bit of a break. But nearly 2 years on, we've still heard nothing solid about the return of the series. We've heard many rumours. We know that Alcon, the production company that owned The Expanse, are very interested in it continuing with the series in some way. We've heard rumours, actually very early on, that Amazon were even considering making a series of movies to complete the books. Those rumours ended quite quickly when it became clear that even though they looked at the possibility, they decided for several reasons it wasn't feasible. One, they just thought that actually the books were way too big and too expansive to make into TV movies, basically, and that they couldn't do it justice. Also, that it would cost way too much money considering the return they considered the show was actually worth. But Alcon never gave up, and they did start asking other companies whether they might be interested. Now, initially, I told you that Warner Brothers was the front runner, and they were particularly interested in doing a spin-off series and potentially TV movie, and then maybe eventually going into book 7. But those interests really sort of waned after David Zaslav took over and changed the direction of Warner Brothers into more producing material for others rather than producing things for HBO, etc. But Apple TV seemed to continue that interest, and I'm being told that interest is still very real. Like Warner Brothers, they don't necessarily want to jump straight into doing season 7. If you don't know, the books do have a gap between book 6 and book 7 of about 30 years. So it did make sense for Amazon to end the series where they did because of this gap, but also Apple believe it gives them the opportunity to do spin-off series, something that's completely new, not based on any of the books, perhaps based on some of the beta canon, or something else that Ty Frank and Daniel Abraham would produce for them. That it would be a really nice way to separate the TV show from what Amazon had already done, the original 6 seasons, so that it could be The Expanse, but Apple's The Expanse. If you are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, do all those things, but also throw a thumbs up and throw on a comment. It really does help us with all those pesky little YouTube algorithms. Apple's thinking, though, was also that that could lead into movies as well. Apple seem to be looking at this as a really interesting addition to their already impressive sci-fi catalogue. But there has been a massive twist in the tale, because one of my sources contacted me last night, and I have spread the word out with a couple of other sources, and I'm getting a similar story. Now, I do have to say immediately, this is very much in the rumour category. There are certain things I know for certain, but unfortunately, to protect the source, I can't actually tell you a lot of that because it would identify the source quite easily. So we do have to read between the lines a little bit, and we do have to surmise what certain things mean. So, for one, I can tell you that there are certain agents and certain people that are connected to the Expanse that are in contact with Alcon, because they are actually still contracted with Alcon to produce anything the Expanse related in the future if Alcon were to do it. So, if Alcon go to Apple, those companies and those individuals would potentially still be contracted to be involved. That does include Penguin and the Parker, the company that actually developed the show, which is Hawk Oastby and Mark Fergus's company. Names that you know very well if you're a regular SciTrekker, because those are the guys we're hoping are going to be taking on Stargate. There's also several actors that are potentially liable to return. Now, those actors and those companies are seeking a little bit of clarification, and they have gone through a third party to get that clarification on the contract situation because Alcon have approached Amazon to bring the end date of their current contract with Amazon forwards. They want to end the contract now. Now, what contract am I talking about? Well, Amazon has a first dibs contract with Alcon for the Expanse. They have a distribution and a production contract with them. They basically bought the Expanse for Amazon from Alcon. They said to Alcon, we're going to give you a load of money and you're going to produce some lovely, lovely Expanse seasons for our channel. But Amazon have stopped making the Expanse. So why is this contract still valid? Well, the contract basically said that the rights would revert back to Alcon, but only after a certain time period. Basically, Amazon has to not produce a new TV show or movie or anything for a set period of time. That set period of time was, we believed, around 2 years, but it actually looks like it's roughly 2 years and 6 months because the source is telling me that actually that contract or that time scale runs out in late summer 2024. Alcon had approached Amazon to bring that timescale forwards. They basically went to Jeff and went, dude, come on, you're not doing anything with it. Can we just have it back, please? It's one of our biggest, most valuable properties, and it's just gathering dust. We're not making any money. Go on, be a pal. And Amazon's reply, allegedly, was, we still might do something with it. Now, this was a shock to Alcon because now apparently Amazon are considering doing a spin-off series of their own. They've took Warner Brothers' idea, they've took Apple Plus's idea, and they've gone, that's all right, let's do that. I don't know what stage sort of Amazon's thinking is. I don't know if this is just a, whoa, wait up, hold your horses. We haven't said we're not doing anything with it yet. Or if this is actually Amazon just basically taking a pause because they don't want the show to go across to Apple or Warner Brothers. Maybe this is even Jeff Bezos stepping in and going, I freaking love The Expanse. Why aren't you doing something with it? Before the time lapse, will you please have a look and maybe throw me some options? Now, Jeff Bezos isn't in charge of Amazon anymore, but he still is obviously a massively influential figure, and he is a fan of The Expanse. So if he did get involved, it could trigger the Amazon executives to just go to Alcon, give us a sec, we're not sure what we want to do just yet. Now, this has thrown Alcon into a bit of a bloody tailspin. For one thing, about 6 months ago, they sold all the sets and all the props and everything for the show. They sold it all, partly because they needed the money, but partly because what they were basically planning to do would be a complete spin-off show. Apple were talking about doing something much smaller in scale than the original Expanse seasons, that it would be a far more character-driven show, but with a much smaller cast. So it would be a far more focused TV show. They were also doing something that would be separate from Amazon. So Apple were talking about wanting to do something that was very different and looked different, even though it would still feel like The Expanse. It would be set aboard different starships, blah, blah, blah. So they had all of these props, etc., that they didn't need. And thanks to the strikes and the pandemic, they basically had an asset worth selling that they needed to sell. But now all of a sudden, Amazon might be wanting to do something else. And Alcon don't have the sets and the props anymore. There is also, though, an ongoing rumor that I've heard now several times and had repeated to me about a week ago, that Naren Shankar, Daniel Abraham, and Ty Frank are still in talks to create their own production company. Now, this is a production company that would basically step in for Penguin and Parker if they did do more material, because Penguin and Parker have moved on. They're doing a couple of other projects for Amazon, and hopefully they're going to be taking on Stargate. So this new production company by the original writers and the showrunner of the series would basically step into that role, creating scripts, doing all the development work, etc., etc. I'm hearing that that is still a distinct possibility, and the only reason we haven't heard anything yet is because they are waiting for something definitive from Alcon, Amazon, Apple to say, yes, we want you to go ahead with it. Once they do, I think that company will get created quite quickly, and that they will take the lead in producing the new show for whoever it is that ends up doing it. Is Amazon just messing with Alcon? Is Amazon just pausing because, they don't want the show to go to someone else? Get into the comments and tell me what you think. What the bloody hell is Amazon actually playing at? Because this is a show that we would love to see return in some form. I actually think some sort of spin-off show, something that fills that 30-year gap, would be amazing. So is Amazon mad for even waiting this long? Is this a show that desperately needs to come back? Get into the comments and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos premiere first, and you get to see them without the adverts for a small contribution that really helps the channel out. Also, you can go to SciTrek.co.uk, which is our dedicated website where we do articles based on a lot of our videos, and we try to add a little bit more information for you to digest. Go check it out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.